Colorado Springs police officer arrested for kidnapping and three other charges in Nisqually 19 hours ago. Colorado Springs police officer was arrested Friday on four charges, including kidnapping, according to interim chief Adrian Vasquez. According to Vasquez, on March 9th, during a felony investigation, detectives were made aware of allegations of criminal activity involving Shane Reed. Detectives began a separate investigation and discovered probable cause to arrest Reed. Vasquez said Reed was arrested on March 18th for the following charges: second-degree kidnapping, Class 4 felony, child abuse, knowingly, recklessly, any injury other than SBI, Class 1 misdemeanor, menacing, threat, physical action, fear of SBI, serious bodily injury, Class 3 misdemeanor, harassment, strike, shove, kick, Class 3 misdemeanor. He was booked in the El Paso County Jail. At the time of his arrest, Reed was assigned as a patrol officer in the Stetson Hills Division. According to Vasquez, he's been employed by CSPD since March 2018. Reed has been placed on administrative leave. The Colorado Springs Police Department values the trust placed in our organization by the community. We're committed to holding officers accountable who violate that trust, Vasquez said in a press release today. CSPD detectives arrested Officer Shane Reed for several serious charges, to include one felony charge. While Officer Reed has the same presumptive of innocence and due process rights as every person arrested, it is important that the citizens of Colorado Springs know that their officers will be held accountable when their actions warrant it. Vasquez said the investigation is active and ongoing. Awesome, awesome. I mean, I feel like in the postmodern generation, in the information age, we need to just, instead of being always for the cops or always against the cops, I think you actually got to look at the goddamn situation. If you think that, they're poverty or something, sure, go ahead. Throw the intersectionality of their socioeconomic class, status in it. That's fine. That's okay. The intersectionality of their socioeconomic class, because it always is about the situation. It always is about the context, right? At no point in time can you just say that one person is older or something, or one person, has this gender, or one person is this race, so therefore it clearly is one way or the other. So when it comes to talking about the police, I feel like for most of my life, and I probably always will be biased against the police, and you probably should be. That's a reasonable person is, let's just, what do we need a government for? What the hell is the point of having a government? And most of my life, the police officers have been able to do whatever the fuck they want to do. They have unlimited fascist power, and for the lawful people who always respect the fucking law, they just get hosed, day in and day out, by every which way, right? By every fucking which way. There's a billion fucking laws, and who knows what that police officer at that time wants to enforce. And if he wants to fuck you over, right, he probably could, like, break your taillight and say, well, what's this? Your taillight's broken, huh? Make the shit up, and then what, the whole system is just gonna rubber, stamp that motherfucker's bullshit accusation. And that's how America's system has essentially been running, is a police officer accuses a person. They wrote the thing and they said, of course, he's got due process and the presumption of innocence. But you need to know that if a police officer breaks the law, they are going to be arrested just like anybody else. And that's fucking exactly right. That's exactly right. But that's also revolutionary, and that's unheard of almost. Not in America, but it's not unheard of in Colorado. We got police reform here. There's a lot of cool things going on. Great democracy. There's a lot of great things going on in Colorado. But for America, typically a police officer accuses somebody else of a crime. Well, that's all she wrote. That's it. But when they accuse a police officer of a crime, well, shit. What do the fucking, people that say cops are always good, crowd, what are they going to say now? They got to say, well, either they totally made a mistake. What the hell are they doing? They're eating their own. They need to show loyalty, the thin blue line. What the fuck? Or they'll just say every situation, right? To each his own. So look at the circumstances, look at the situation. And ultimately, I mean, child abuse, I didn't look at the thing, but the whole idea of child services is to strengthen the family, not to break the family apart. So I don't know if this is, beyond repairable or not, or if there's a chance for some kind of restorative justice, because you want that family unit to stay together and be strong. That's the ultimate goal. And his presumption of innocence. We'll see. What's great about the police when they arrest other police officers is you're going to see how fair the judicial system is. There's supposed to be 10 steps, right, to the due process. There's supposed to be 10 steps, and Colorado, there's a preliminary hearing, disposition hearing, and reading of the rights or advisement of the rights, bail bond hearing, and some other shit. So there's 10 steps, and number 9 is the trial, and number 10 is sentencing. And so, how many of the steps do they get? All 10 steps? Do they get 20 steps? Do they just, instead of just saying, well, you're a police officer, we're not even going to charge you. We're going to bury these charges and bury it in the grand jury and cover your ass up. No, motherfucker, you goddamn committed a fucking crime. So I think it'd be interesting to watch this case to see how the judicial system actually works in Colorado Springs. The police officers had arrested one of their own, so that's the start. That's a big thing. They arrested him. They could have just summoned him. They didn't have to arrest him. So he got, fucking arrested. And then, I think, right? And then, whatever, I'm not sure where I was going with that. But, so yeah, it'd be interesting to see how the police in Colorado Springs, how the judicial system in Colorado Springs, how they treat their own. The police is actually a part of the executive branch, and I like this. I like it. So I feel like, if dude did wrong, he should pay his debts, and then once he's paid his debts to society, then the society should, welcome him back with wide open arms. Especially if this is like the first time. I mean, I don't know. Like I said, a felony. I mean, it's child abuse. I don't know. I'm not for sure. They said Patrick Gallagher did child abuse because some fucking teenager was breaking into his house and he fired a shot or something at him or something, a warning shot, a shotgun blast. I was just trying to rob dude, and then dude tried to shoot me. That's all. You're just trying to rob him, huh? And he tried to shoot you. I wish he had, you fucking piece of shit. So yeah, I hope the situation isn't too bad, and I hope it all works out. If it is, motherfucker needs to pay. He's been arrested, and if there's one good thing about the police and the system, is they know how to maintain order. They can maintain law and order. Eventually, right? So their fascism, their fucking authoritarian fascism, top notch, 100%. That's what they're good. That's all they're good at, typically. But like I said, it's Colorado police are better than Kentucky police.